artists. Today I'm going to show you how to draw something called an impossible triangle. So it's impossible because like when you follow the path, it looks like it's twisting. It has this element to it that is a bit of an optical illusion. So hopefully you've checked out the document about impossible objects, trick eye, optical illusions, all that jazz, and you're excited to learn how to draw this one. We're going to break it down nice and simple, step by step. So don't worry, you can do this. The biggest challenge is shading. So make sure you watch all the way through if you want yours to look really nice. And I want you to hear what I have to say about shading it in at the end. Let's get started. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. And this is all we have to do for the first step. We need to make a triangle. Now, I should have mentioned, you can pause and go get this if you need to. You need a straight edge. If you don't have a ruler, go get a book or a thick, firm piece of paper to be your straight edge. A ruler is ideal, though. So try to have it so you can see that paper and my new one. So to draw, we want it to be as much of an equilateral triangle as possible, meaning all three sides are about the same length. But you don't have to be super perfect about it if you don't want to be. I put my ruler about halfway through the top of the page and in the corner of the page down here. And do not draw your line too long. We've got a lot more stuff to add to it. So let's start with a line that's only, so there's my other paper making a mark. That's good. In fact, that's too long. I don't want it that long. I'm going to do it to there. Now I'm going to do my one down here. Remember, you can pause if I go fast. And I'm going to try to keep my ruler parallel to the bottom of the paper. That looks about the same length once I erase it a little. That's why we do things in pencil. Now I'm going to connect the two lines. With the ruler, you have to, or anything, you need to put it like a centimeter below where you want it to be because your pencil has to fit next to it. Okay, cool. I did step one. Step one done. Take a look at step two. The new marks are in red. So from our triangle, we are going to extend the line a little bit in these three directions. So let's put that there, and I'll do it down here. Now you could try to just draw it. I had erased, so I know that line is straight, but you should do this with a ruler. Let's make these nice. So I did that one because the line was already there. Not that way, that's not the way we're going. So line your ruler up, maybe a centimeter behind it, and try to make the extension the same length each time. Last one. Extend it out like a half an inch. You could be precise and actually measure these to make them each maybe a half an inch would be a nice size. Alrighty, already ready for step three. Remember, you can pause. Step three, from those little extension points, we're going to draw parallel lines across that side of the triangle. And they need to go a little bit longer than the line they're running next to. So let's break that down. Let's just do the first one together. That means from this point up here, ooh, I'm getting close to the bottom of my page, my line is going to run down here and go a little bit past this one. So I'm going to draw my dot first for how far I want it. No, it's hard to see, but it's there. And now I'm going to press my ruler up, make sure it's as parallel as possible to this line. That looks nice and straight. My hand's gonna block it a little because when you hold a ruler, if you just hold it up here, as you drag your line, you're probably gonna scoot your ruler. So you really need to like spread your hand across the ruler to hold it. You don't have to do a weird angle like this though. I'm trying to have you see it on the camera. Cool. Now I'm gonna do this one. So same thing, I'm going from this spot, not this one, this spot all the way a line a little bit further than here. So draw, I'll make the dot really clear. There, let's put our ruler up between those spots. That looks parallel to me. So there. All right, I don't like that dot being there anymore though. Now the last one is going from here all the way up above this for top. So from here, not from here, from here, all the way up above here. Let's turn our paper and do that one. Great. Great job, Joe. Okay. Ready for step 4. And this is actually the last step before we do shading. We're going to do the same thing, basically. We're going to draw from those end points we just made, parallel one more time, but this time we're going to stop a little shorter than the line we just drew, and we're going to draw a connection between those two. Let's do it together if that's not clear. So from this new top point, we're going to be drawing all the way down, but we're going to be stopping a little bit shorter than the point we made. Ruler to the point. I did that so you could see my hand holding the ruler, but if you want to make sure your line is parallel to the other one, bring your ruler down this way. Now I'm going to connect them. I don't need my ruler for that. Same thing, we're going to go from this point all the way across here, but we're going to stop a little bit before the end of that line. Take your time lining it up. Boop. Now I'm going to connect these two. Great. Now last one. I wish I had brought this out a little further, so I'm going to now, because I notice if I try to draw this, look at how skinny it's going to be. I don't like that. So we're the artists. We can change things. I'm going to draw this out a little further, but I'm going to keep that little angle. You can ignore me if you didn't make the same mistake I did. All right, now I'm going to draw from this point all the way up to a little bit before this one. It's okay. Mine looked kind of parallel, like they were on the same level. All right, I hope that is parallel to my line. Looks good. Connection. All right, I'm going to clean this up a little where I had some sketch marks. Let's talk about adding value to these, because that's what really makes these look so cool. So watch how I do it. We're making it look like, based on the shadows, that's part of what gives it this cool impossible object feel to it, because of how the light is hitting this. It's what makes it look like it has this twist to it that is illogical and a little strange. And we achieve that by drawing gradients that are in opposite directions on each of these rectangular shape forms. So lightening up my little circles that I had made and my dots. So let's start with this one. My suggestion for adding value is to start lightly and slowly make it darker. So watch how I do that. Starting around the middle, I have my pencil on its side and I'm shading lightly by going back and forth. It helps to have a dull pencil when you do this. So if your pencil is super sharp, maybe somewhere else on a scrap piece of paper you scribble for a little while and make your pencil a little less sharp. Make the whole thing, you could shade it in all the way down. I like it kind of fading to a bright white. And then around halfway here, I'm going to go back and press a little harder. And I can do that all the way up to the top because we know it's going to be the darkest at the top. Do not draw your darkest darks first. It's not going to look good. But then you can start to come up to the top and press even harder. But look at my stroke. It's going like this. The tippy top where I know it's going to be really dark, I can kind of change direction. Also kind of doing it like small circles. Pressing hard, but I'm still not pressing too hard actually. I'm pressing a little hard. Medium hard here, and then back to gentle. Starting to look good. All right, let's talk about doing that on the opposite side. So now on this corner here, again, starting about halfway of this whole rectangle, let's do a light shading going into this little corner here. And now down here we can start to shade again. You could just layer, but I am pressing a little bit more firmly with my pencil now. Now that I'm down in this corner, I can really press a little firmly. I'm not ever doing this. I don't think that looks good. I mean, you can make it that dark, but you should build up to that slowly. This is relaxing. It takes patience. If you want these to look good, you have to take your time. Slowly build it up. In fact, I'm going to pause talking and I'm going to do the rest a little bit quicker for you to see. So my camera froze as I filmed myself shading in the rest of this, unfortunately. But so instead, what I'd like you to do is, you just watched how I shaded in these two sides. I'd like you to pause it on this image so that you see where the darkest values should be for the rest of your sides, and you just apply the same shading technique that you just watched me do on these two to all of these sides. Please submit your work to Seesaw. Press pause and shade in the same way that I did in this example,